Hello and welcome to Annie's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Faded Photograph. In a city where the hum of life often muffled the echoes of forgotten tales, Holly Arnold emerged as a beacon of intellect and determination. A young detective with a reputation for unraveling the toughest mysteries, she possessed a mind as sharp as a blade and a heart fueled by an unwavering quest for justice. At just 25, Holly had already made a name for herself in the precinct, her youthful energy tempered by a wisdom that belied her years. Today, she faced a case that would demand every ounce of her cunning: the death of Lily Thompson, a teenage girl whose body had been discovered in Riverside Park, accompanied by a single, enigmatic, clear-faded photograph. The clue emerges. The photograph was a fragile thing, its edges worn and its surface marred by time. Holly held it delicately, tilting it beneath the sterile glow of her desk lamp. The image revealed a young girl, likely Lily, in her early years, standing before a dilapidated Victorian house. The structure sagged under the weight of neglect, its once grand trimmings now peeling and forlorn. In the background, a sign peeked through the haze of faded ink, the word evergreen just legible before dissolving into obscurity. Who had taken this photo? Why had Lily carried it to her death? Holly's first stop was the Thompson household. Grief hung heavy in the air as Lily's mother, Mrs. Thompson, welcomed her inside. The woman's hands trembled, clutching a crumpled tissue. Lily was bright, curious, she said. She loved exploring, always asking questions about the past. Lately she'd been obsessed with local history, old buildings, unsolved stories. She said it was for school, but I think she just loved the thrill of it. Does this mean anything to you, Evergreen? Mrs. Thompson squinted. It looks vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. It may be one of her adventures. They painted a picture of a spirited girl with a penchant for discovery, but the photograph remained a mystery. Frustration gnawed at Holly, but she refused to falter. If the answers went with the living, perhaps they lay within the photograph itself. A glimpse into history. Holly sought out Dr. Elias Mortimer, a local historian whose office was a cluttered shrine to the city's past. His eyes gleamed with recognition as he studied the photograph. This house, it's Victorian, late 19th century, he said. The architecture matches homes built in evergreen estates, a neighborhood abandoned after the textile factory shut down in the 1920s. It's a ghost town now, crumbling and forgotten. Evergreen estates, Holly echoed. Can I get there? You can, Dr. Mortimer replied, but it's treacherous. The buildings are unstable, and there have been whispers of unsavory types lurking about, undaunted. The neighborhood greeted her with silence, its streets lined with skeletal houses overtaken by weeds. She found the house from the photograph at the end of a desolate lane, its sign dangling by a thread, Evergreen. The air was thick with decay as she stepped inside, the floor groaning beneath her boots. Shadows of the past. The interior was a mausoleum of dust and memory. Holly's flashlight swept across broken furniture and peeling wallpaper until she reached a small study. There, amidst a scattering of papers, she uncovered a treasure trove: old documents, photographs, and newspaper clippings. A family portrait caught her eye: the Johnsons, who had once called this place home. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson stared solemnly from the frame, flanked by their children, a boy and a girl. A yellowed clipping slipped from the pile, its headline stark: "Local girl vanishes without a trace." The article detailed the disappearance of Sarah Johnson, the daughter, 20 years prior. She had been 16, spirited like Lily, and her case had gone cold, leaving behind a fractured family and unanswered questions. Holly's mind raced. Had Lily stumbled onto this old mystery? Was her death tied to Sarah's fate? Suspects and secrets. Back at the precinct, Holly pored over the Johnson case files. 3 suspects had emerged in Sarah's disappearance. Harold Green, a neighbor who'd been spotted loitering near the Johnson house, his behavior erratic and unexplained. Vincent Mallory, a family friend with a rap sheet: petty theft and assault, who'd been close to the Johnsons. Mark Johnson, Sarah's older brother, whose temper had landed him in trouble more than once. Holly tracked their current whereabouts. Vincent Mallory had died years ago, his secrets buried with him. Harold Green, now elderly, lived in a modest apartment nearby. Mark Johnson had recently returned to the city after years abroad. She decided to start with Green. The old man's eyes narrowed as Holly mentioned Sarah. That ancient history. His defensiveness was palpable, but without evidence Holly could only note it and move on. Mark Johnson was next. He met her at a coffee shop, his face etched with fatigue. When she showed him the photograph, he flinched. That's our old house. Sarah and I grew up there. I haven't thought about it in years. Holly pressed. No, he replied. His hands fidgeted, betraying his calm exterior. Holly filed that away, her instincts buzzing. Digital threads. A new lead emerged when Holly learned Lily had been active in an online cold case community. With a tech expert's help, she accessed Lily's account. Posts about the Johnson case filled the screen. Lily's theories, her excitement palpable. Then, buried in her private messages, a chilling thread appeared. An anonymous user had written, "Stop poking around the Johnson case during over your head. Back off, or you'll regret it. If some secrets stay buried for a reason." The threats escalated, each one more menacing. Holly's tech expert traced the IP address to Mark Johnson's apartment. Confronting him again, she laid out the evidence. Mark crumpled, tears streaming down his face. "I sent them. I just wanted her to stop. Our family's been through hell. Sarah's disappearance destroyed us. I couldn't handle it coming up again, but I didn't hurt her, Holly. I swear." His voice rang true. Holly believed him, but if Mark wasn't the killer, who was? The neighbor's burden. Harold Green nodded at her thoughts. His reaction had been too sharp, too guarded. On a hunch, Holly staked out his apartment. Late that night, he slipped out, heading toward Evergreen Estates. She followed, her heart pounding as he entered the Johnson house. Through a shattered window, she watched him descend to the basement, a shovel in hand. He began to dig, his movements frantic. Holly called for backup, then burst in. Police dropped the shovel. Now Green froze. "It's not what you think," he stammered. Amid the dirt lay a small skeleton, a silver locket glinting beside it, Sarah's locket, identical to the one in the family portrait. Confession and closure. Under interrogation, Green unraveled. He'd been obsessed with Sarah, a twisted infatuation that spiraled out of control. 20 years ago, he lured her to the house and tried to keep her there. When she fought back, he panicked, killing her accidentally. He buried her in the basement, the secret festering as the years passed. Lily's investigation had threatened to expose him. She'd found old letters in the house, piecing together Green's involvement. He tracked her to the park and, in a desperate bid to silence her, took her life. "I didn't mean for any of it. It just happened." Holly listened. 2 lives lost to one man's cowardice. She ensured Green faced justice, his confession securing his arrest. Sarah's remains were exhumed and given a proper burial, her family finally granted peace. Lily's parents, though shattered, thanked Holly for her relentless pursuit of the truth. Reflection. Standing at Lily's grave, Holly held the faded photograph one last time. It had been a journey through decades, a tapestry of loss and discovery woven together by her determination. The case had tested her, pushed her to the edge, but it had also affirmed her purpose. Justice wasn't just a word, it was a promise she'd keep, no matter how faint the clues or how deep the shadows. With a quiet resolve, she tucked the photograph away and walked into the dusk, ready for the next mystery the world would throw her way. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had a great day.